Hello and welcome to the Dinosaw for week 26, another 7 curious, interesting things I saw last week. And yes, 26 is halfway through the year. That's interesting, I guess. If you'd like any consultancy, any AI stuff or any workshops, then do let me know. Find me on LinkedIn, it's what I do. This is Adam Savage, had a brilliant video and he's swallowing a pillbot, and the video is just amazing. It's full of details, it's full of really interesting stuff. So this is a pillbot and it's got a huge amount of technology in it. They've been developing these for a while, but the latest version of it is just amazing. You can control it with a game controller essentially. So if you drink a bunch of water, as you're seeing right now, you can swim it around and see what you want inside your body. So Adam swallows one with a glass of water and then can actually see in HD what's inside his body for about half an hour. So as long as you're not that squeamish, I should have given you a warning, but go and watch the video. It is amazing. Please do that because it is amazing. This is Pepsi Smart Can, which was launched at Cannes. I assume that was the entire point of it. But this is a smart can that influencers and creators can use, and they can create some interesting stuff. If you are an influencer or creator, then you can get your hands on one of these things, but only if you're a good one, apparently. So it is a canvas to express yourself. And what's in it? Well, there's no Pepsi in it. It is just literally a device with a screen on the outside of it, much like a smart speaker, I guess. But they want people to do funky stuff with it and promote Pepsi. So I think it's quite a good idea, to be fair. If I had one of these, I would do smart stuff on it and I would show it off. So that's maybe a good strategy. There you go, Pepsi Smart Can. This is KT, which is a South Korean telecoms company, and they have allegedly been caught sending malware to 600,000 of their customers. Not all of their customers, obviously they have more than that, but 600,000 of them were suspected of potentially using a P2P program called Grid Program. And that basically means that some of the users were sending a lot of files between each other and then using up a lot of data. So apparently KT may or may not have then sent them some malware to knock out that facility. So they were then incurring less data costs over at KT. So if that's true, that's a bit shady, but this is not the first time this has sort of happened. When big hit shows come out, things like Squid Games, people like KT go, look, we weren't expecting this hit show to come out. It's caused a lot of data because everybody's watching it using streaming, and therefore we're incurring a lot of costs that we didn't expect. So therefore we'd like some money back, please, major studios. So this is at the moment, well, you probably should have actually priced it a little bit differently, but sending malware to your customers is allegedly not a great thing, but there you go, allegedly. This is how to stick robot skin or human skin to a robot. So this is obviously all we need right now, just more creepy robot stuff. But this is from the University of Tokyo, and it does actually sort of have a good ending to this. The breakthrough here is how to stick human skin. So this is grown from stem cells in a lab. Those aren't real eyes, by the way, but this is skin that's grown from humans. So this is human skin. And what they do is they put diagonal kind of V-shaped holes in the thing underneath it. And that allows the human skin to grow into it and therefore bond to it. So it doesn't slip off, essentially. This is inspired by human skin and ligaments and all that sort of good stuff. So that's interesting. And you can see a really good example of that really creepy robot face, and you can see those little tweezers just coming in and trying to pull the skin away. That's what's going on there. So why would you want one of these? Well, apparently if you can put skin on a chip, as they're calling it, then this would be good for things like cosmetics, because you don't have to actually use any humans and or animals to do that, which you obviously shouldn't do for that nonsense. Or it might be useful for surgery and things like that. So there you go. Robots around you might get skin, and if you try to pull it, then it won't come off. There you go. Japan have just literally, as of Friday, announced plans for a 310-mile conveyor belt between Osaka and Tokyo. Now, why would you want one of these? Well, their population in Japan is aging. This is a well-known thing, and therefore they might not have enough drivers to actually keep the country into their, stuff. So logistics. So this will replace apparently 25,000 drivers daily, i.e. they're aging people, and therefore they don't need them. Now, these conveyor belts are going to be beneath the roads, beneath the infrastructure, through tunnels they've already got, maybe in the median, as you can see here, the middle of the road, the bits that's unused. So they're going to try and sneak this conveyor belt wherever they can for 310 miles, which is sort of about 500 kilometers, something like that. doing some research into this, there are longer conveyor belts than this in the world. There are like 100 kilometer conveyor belts, so in quarries and things like that. So there you go. Interesting way. That's called the Autoflow Road. Watch that space. It's going to cost a lot of money, but it may be the only way that they can actually supply stuff to Japan in the future. Sony and a lot of other music companies are doing a landmark case at the moment. They're suing a bunch of AI generative music platforms for essentially stealing their stuff and training their AI platforms on essentially commercial copyrighted music. In the same week, actually, Sony also have launched Diff-A-Riff, so it's using diffusion networks to create riffs. So I'm not so sure about that name, by the way, Sony. You could have worked harder on that. However, it does a bunch of things. So if you show it what you want and you give it another style, you say, like, I really like this Latin vibe, but I really want it in techno, it will be able to do that for you. It can also do things like, of course, give me a mellow synthesizer and it'll do it all to the right beats. So it can also autofill. So if you then say, I've got this piece of music, I need something to go in this bit, it can auto-generate that for you. It can also sort of auto-generate left and right channels without mixing. So they're trying to sort of generate, they're trying to fill, they're trying to also mix and do all the EQ. So interesting, in the same week, we really launched a massive lawsuit. They're also then saying they're doing the same stuff as the lawsuit, but they're doing it themselves legally, which is the important thing. And finally, we have Toys R Us, and they've made this really super creepy ad. So this is claiming to be the world's first brand film using AI. So make of that what you will. And it's got all the AI stuff. So into bicycles, you look at some of the bicycles in the background of here, they're all over the place. The handlebars are weird and stuff. And you've got all this kind of weird, slimy AI stuff going on as well. It's quite frankly a bit creepy and a bit weird. But apparently it tells the story of possibly the daydream in the 1930s of Charles Lazarus, the founder of Toys R Us, dreaming about Geoffrey the giraffe, their mascot. And look at the marvel that is then created from that. So if you do pause it and you go back, especially at the beginning when there's bicycles and shops and things like that, it is all over the place. And I suspect there's a little bit of extra comping and stuff going in here, exactly that hand coming in. So it's not all that we probably think it is. Now, I'm only guessing that, but I don't know about you, but I thought that looked really weird and a little bit creepy. But there you go, Toys R Us for you folks. I hope you find that interesting. Hopefully it was, and you're going to send it to somebody amazing, and I will see you next week.